how to make homemade pasta vodka sauce, stick around. First things first, get to the liquor store. You need some vodka. You can buy bottom shelf, it doesn't matter. Here's all the ingredients that you're going to need. Those little packets are red pepper flakes. First, you're going to want to melt your butter and your olive oil in a pan. Then you're going to want to chop your garlic. Garlic is as preferred, but I put about 6 cloves. I would say 6 to 8. I like a little bit of extra garlic in there. So you're going to chop your garlic up and you're going to add that to your pan to cook. You're also going to add some onions to your pan. I use red. You can use yellow. You can use white. Doesn't matter what kind of onions you use. You're going to let your garlic and your onions cook down a little bit. And then I add some garlic powder just for a little extra oomph. You don't have to do that, that's optional. I have tried a lot of different vodka sauce recipes, and this one is hands down the best recipe that I've ever made. So then I'm just going to season it with some salt and pepper. This does take a little bit of time to make, so you're not going to want to do this when everybody's starving or, this is not really a weeknight kind of meal. This is definitely more like a Sunday, when you have time, kind of hanging out at home kind of thing. Look at all of the pepper. When I put the pepper in the pan, look at the pepper all floating around in front of the camera. So once your onions and garlic have cooked down, you're going to want to use, you can use crushed tomatoes. You can use tomato puree. I use tomato puree here, but I also have used crushed tomatoes. The crushed tomatoes just have a little bit more chunks in them, but the puree works just as good. Like a lot of my recipes, you can tweak them, season them kind of how you want, or you can substitute things. This, besides the color of the onions and the kind of tomato you use, you're going to want to pretty much stick to the recipe. Just because it's really easy to add too much vodka, not enough vodka, not get the right taste. So I just used little packets of crushed red pepper flakes because I had them on hand from when we ordered pizza. But so I added 4 packets of that, but you can just do a teaspoon of it. And that doesn't really add a lot of heat to it. It just adds flavor. So now you're seeing me add about 2 tablespoons of red wine, but I do add more later. This is something that I don't really have a recipe for, so I just add as I go. So you want to mix that in really well, incorporate the wine into the sauce. You want to cook that down for a while. And once it's cooked down, you're going to add your vodka. Like I said, you don't have to use an expensive vodka. The alcohol is going to cook out and it's not going to really taste like the vodka that you've used. It just gives it something. So again, I used about 2 tablespoons of vodka here, but I will add a little bit more later, you'll see, after it cooks down and I taste it for flavor. So you want to incorporate the vodka in there and let it cook a little while longer. maybe about 20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm just going to use some pasta. I'm going to boil some pasta. Um, I just used like an Italian trio, but you can use any kind of pasta that you want. So here I am adding about 2 more tablespoons of the red wine after this has cooked down and, I got the right flavor out of it. And maybe 2 to 3 more tablespoons of the vodka. And now this was perfect. If you use too much vodka in this, it will taste like pure alcohol, and you don't want that. So now I'm adding, after I let that cook for a little while, I'm adding the heavy cream. I used about 3/4 of that container of the heavy cream. And as you can tell, I probably should have used a bigger cooking vessel. So once you get that all mixed up, it's going to be like a light orangish color. And then I realized I forgot to add the basil. So you can add this when you're adding the rest of your seasonings. But I put about a teaspoon of basil. So you're just going to let that cook until it boils. And then turn it off. I made some garlic bread with it. And then I served it. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks.